the landmark Ayodhya verdict, the much-awaited Rafale verdict is here, and the Supreme Court has dismissed a bunch of petitions asking for a court-monitored probe into the procurement of the 36 Rafale fighter jets. This is pretty much, so the court has basically said that there is, you can't have a fishing and roving inquiry, which is pretty much the same thing that the court had said in its December verdict. Am I right?
Well, yes, and more importantly, hopefully this is the last and the very last that we hear of the Rafale controversy. Because while there were some genuine points, or it appeared to be some very genuine points that had been raised, the government also then came up with a very credible explanation to it. And more importantly, when the government classified this as an emergency purchase, saying that, and which is true because your fighter fleet was dropping and dropping very fast. Even today, we don't have the required number of fighters. You needed to do something out of the box. And that is what exactly had been done. Then you went and you said, fair enough, we need a minimum number of fighters, and they went and bought it. Now then to go and ask questions about, well, it was cheaper, or what we were negotiating was cheaper, what you bought is costlier, didn't make much of a sense. So hopefully this is the last we are getting.
So the politics of it, do you think is going to end here? Because the petitioners, they had cited a bunch of articles, right, which had appeared in the Hindu newspaper, citing that, there were some notings which had, the court had been misled, or the court was not privy to those private notings onto some of these documents of senior defense ministry officials when negotiating the deal. What has the court said about that, about those notings?
Well, the judgment needs to be read very, very carefully. But even if you go back to the reports of the Hindu, in the parliamentary system that we follow and in the bureaucracy that is there, it is open for people to express their dissent. And it is therefore, it goes up from the Joint Secretary or the Director to the Joint Secretary, from the Joint Secretary to the Secretary, and then to the Minister. Now, at any stage, it can be overruled. Everybody can write on the file what they think. Now, that necessarily doesn't mean that there is some kind of a corruption.
The Chaukidar Chor Hai contempt case against Rahul Gandhi, the court has also gone ahead and dismissed that, and with a rap on the knuckles for Rahul Gandhi, saying that don't do this again. What do you make out of the court's decision regarding that?
Well, it was pure politics at that point of time. I mean, the elections were coming in. Rahul Gandhi, from the then Congress president, was trying to make this to be the major poll issue. We all know what the results were. Now the court has said that, has to be careful in future, but they haven't gone ahead and kind of, given him a punishment for contempt of court. So, that's politics. Where politics goes, it's very difficult to say.
So it's really a matter of national interest in this, and you said that we do need those fighter jets. It's really a matter of national interest in whether politics needs to be dragged into commercial agreements. Do you think, in a sense, there's sort of a precedent which has been set by the court, by the Supreme Court, saying that don't interfere in, or don't make politics out of deals that are done by the government, and so on and so forth?
Precedent, difficult to say, but definitely, this will be a case that will be held up in future, because it's very difficult to say, whether politics in future are going to adhere to it and say.
Clearly not, obviously.
So it's very difficult to say. But what the courts have said is, there is no merit, or they did not see any merit in the fact that there was so to say, a blatant corruption, or a corruption which was very evident, as the opposition or the petitioners were saying, and they've dismissed it.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was Sudhi Ranjan Sen giving us his take on the Rafale verdict, which the Supreme Court has just come out with. Keep watching HindustanTimes.com and stay tuned for more.